Okay. Give me a persuasion check as the four Loxodon begin to spread
I'm
out.
going to inspire. I'm going to inspire Mars.
Okay.
Inspired.
You just like
Somewhere ethereally from the house, you hear the strumming of my harp. My
A little bit of panic.
could I also get advantage if I mention that I have had a dream where Mira appeared to me and had me swear an oath to
Yeah,
help save Octavian?
I'll give you advantage because having a vision like that is something they would truly
Okay.
would make a difference.
Okay. Oh, because I got a +0 for persuasion.
Ooh.
Oh well. Good thing my first roll was pretty high, but I'm still gonna roll that. What's the inspiration guy?
It's a D10.
Well, it's a 19 then with
19.
the inspiration.
The older Loxodon kind of sighs and he gestures again, and the four Loxodon who had broken off to begin searching kind of stop. And he's like, just keep this quiet, if you would. I understand from what we've researched, he's a friend of yours. He's not very good at hiding.
I'm incredibly good at hiding. You hear my voice ethereally somewhere in the room.
He kind of like looks around confused, and he's like, no. We will let this slide for now. If you are truly trying to return him to a mortal state, then the last thing we'd like to do is to send him to the afterlife. Rebirth is just as important as... What's the word?
Passing on.
Passing on. Rebirth is just as important as passing on. That is what Mira teaches. And if he is truly your friend, then I will honor your friendship. Just remind him that talking skeletons are not common. And not...
Well, not entirely, I say, as I kind of rematerialize in the room. Not entirely common, but there are precedent for them.
Two of the
At least where
Loxodon
I
grab
come
you on either
from.
side.
Oh, hello, boys.
They don't hurt you. They just kind of like, oh shit, and kind of grab you in a defensive state.
It's fine. I have no weapons on me, except my quick wit. Where I come from, the undead are not necessarily so taboo, to say the least. Many undead find themselves walking amongst the living.
Are
Anyway,
you bullshitting them right now?
No, from where I come from, the place I'm from is there is a precedent for certain undead. Not to say that all undead are good, because that's not true. But the spirits of our ancestors that come back and mingle with us, they are undead, but they're not evil.
He goes, we do not view undead as evil. We view them as people who need to be put to rest. Their souls need to be freed from this mortal plane.
Well, not all undead are tethered. Some come back to...
There are special circumstances, yes, but we try and... we don't have a blanket policy for undead, but it's more or less... They're not... Well... And he kind of like trails off, and you see he like gets a little wistful and like starts examining the room. And he kind of like shakes his head and kind of realizes where he is. There's been enough. And he kind of gestures, and the two Loxodon...
Gestures to what? What does he say? What?
The Loxodon release you
Okay.
and grab Jupiter on either side. And they go, we will take him to the capital for a formal trial. If you wish to join us, it should be in a number of weeks. We have ways of contacting you, and I assume you have ways of getting there.
I would have been to the capital at least a couple times.
Oh yeah, easily. It's
So I could...
Let me find it on my notes so I can tell you exactly what it's called. It's at the top, isn't it?
I've kind of pat myself down from being touched.
Huh, I don't have it written down. I know it exists, though. Okay. For now, we'll just call it the capital. But they say, we'll take him there. We'll give him a formal trial in a number of weeks after more evidence is gathered. And we do have to track down some of his men that may or may not have also been involved in more nefarious operations. Now, where is your mother? If what Tulpa tells us is true, she is she is truly a threat to our cause. So where is she?
I point at the urn I have on the table.
He goes,
Well, partly I'll have the book. I said we have reason to believe that she has severed her body from her soul, and she lingers out there. I don't really know what that means. Her body is in the urn. Her soul is somewhere out there, and my body is also being used somewhere in the Shadowfell.
he kind of like shudders like a cold chill, and he goes, how unfortunate. Well, and he gestures, and they begin to lead Jupiter out. They shackle his legs and arms, which they have to be quite large shackles for a Loxodon. But
I will say to the guy that's in charge, you wouldn't by any chance know of any creature or being of undeath that does this, where they try to sever their soul from their body and still act independently of one another.
Let me roll a check for him.
Because I mean, like, if you're the like high priest of we kill undead things, I would hope that you would have a very good understanding of what you're killing.
He goes, separating one's soul from their body is, there's spells for that, but what you're describing is a little different. Something more specific. I could have some of the men in my charge research this and see if we can find anything, but I'm not inherently familiar with anything involving, on this scale, separating one's soul from one body. But I can always have my men do research. We have access to all the libraries of the world. We'll find something.
Well, thank you.
And he kind of bows and he says, I wish you all luck in your further endeavors, but it is time for us to return and deal with this. And he gestures at Jupiter.
All right.
And he says, oh, and one more thing. And he kind of like, he walks over and Mars, he hands you a small pouch.
Ah, what is this, sir?
Listen.
He goes, well,
Fucking sand.
since your father is no longer fit to leadership of this section of the order falls under you. And you open up the little pouch, and inside it is a little insignia. And he goes, for now, I am making you honorary leader of the members of your father's order. If you don't want it, we can always find a replacement. But for now, just think it over.
Don't paladins get like some sort of paladin mark?
I think
Paladins do have.
They have a holy symbol.
They have a holy symbol, which can be a few things. It can be like a mark that you've written on, like a shield, or like a pin that you have on your clothes that represent your religion. So yeah, they have that. Yes.
That could be my paladin's mark.
You could use it as it if you'd like. It's more or less just a little symbol to put on you that it signifies leadership.
It just pins onto my lapel.
Pretty much.
It's a Boy Scout badge.
For killing undead. No.
Yeah, right?
The Hell Scouts.
Basket weaving.
But no, he gives you it and he says, you're in charge for now. If you don't want to be in charge, don't do anything and we'll find someone to take your father's place. But for now, you seem like a good fit. He kind of flicks his hand and they lift up Jupiter and begin to exit the house.
Goodbye, Jupiter.
I bow and say, I'll take this with honor.
He nods, and they turn and leave, and Tulpa's just kind of standing there, like tapping his fingers together, like, what am I to do with the manor, sir? I don't have anyone to take care of now, and if you're leaving, I don't see any purpose in keeping the home open.
We could convert it into an orphanage.